Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Shut Door, or Door Shutter, coming back to you with episode 9 of Cave Factory. And today we're actually doing something in the reverse, right? So I've removed the cobblestone generators, and the reason is because I forgot something important, which is stone equals cobblestone. Because I was like, oh, I want to do cobblestone generators because cobblestone. Um, I could just get, you know, cobblestone from stone. I don't think it's 100% guaranteed, but we will get it occasionally, and that is probably the better bet. Stone generators will basically allow for you to get resources guaranteed basically every time, whether that be a different piece of cobblestone or a different piece of ore. And I kind of just forgot. It happens. Every once in a while, I do things that are kind of questionable, and that is one of them. So let's get right into this. I've made the floor smooth again, took everything out of here, and we're just gonna do this. So we're gonna build like a bridge to here, and then we're just gonna take out this said floor, right? We're actually gonna do that all the way around. The reason we're gonna do this all the way around is because we need this to have water in it, right? And I can actually grab my water sigil, and we can then do this, okay? I believe this is how it's going to work. I'm not 100% sure because I've never tested this, but this should work. I'm actually quickly going to turn off the water running sound. So, water, ambience, there we go. Okay. And then let's just keep going here. Alright, and then build this last little bit. We should be able to fill this in with water. I hope this will work. It may not work on every point, like right here. Actually, that's a thing. Hold on. I believe in this corner, this wouldn't work. So let's just put stone there. And we can actually just fill that up and then knock it out. Okay. And then let's do that here again. And the reason I'm thinking that is actually because it is kind of a weird shape. And I mean, we could probably put a block breaker right here, but I don't know if they're actually orientation. Like if I could actually make them orientation facing downwards. So I'm not going to try and bother with that too much. But alright. So then what we need to do is actually come up here and make another small ring inside of here. Not like the last one. So just like this. Okay. And I can't fully remember how this works. We're going to kind of probably fail here a little bit, which is fine. We could probably raise this middle portion up a little bit for a second. Actually, I need to put the block breaker somewhere, and I guess we're going to figure that out. Alright, and we can grab our tank. And we can make sure that this is set to empty. Okay. And let's see. Will this work? And actually, let's place blocks there. Okay, and if I do this thing. Okay, so that is working. And just for sanity's sake, I'm actually going to place that all just like that. I don't really care too much about wasting lava, I guess, because it's not really wasting lava. You could have this as a running source, but I'm just going to do it this way. I like making it look a little bit nicer. Okay, and then, of course, we can block that up again. Let's actually do that and that. Okay, and then we go back here. Okay. And that is a stone generator. So, then what we can do, of course, is take these block breakers and realize that we actually can't face them in the correct direction because this block is an absolute nuisance. Okay? So, what we need to do is actually pop out of here after setting the spawn point here. Okay? And we need to figure out, what is this mod? Engineer's Decor. There's a manual, but I need to know if there's a wrench, which it doesn't look like there is. So I don't know if there's a way to rotate this. So let me figure that out real quick, and I'll be right back with you. Oh, goodness. Okay, so according to the manual, right, it says you can place this device in horizontal directions where sneak clicking, so sneak, right click, flips the displacement direction. I hold shift. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Why is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, so also the commenter who talked about stone generators in my comment section, the other last episode of Cave Factory, also mentioned, like, why don't I use item collectors? And the real reason I don't want to use item collectors, besides the fact that I already have these, is I kind of forgot they were in the game. I will probably use them in the future, but since I already have the ender hoppers, I'm just gonna keep with this. Um, and another thing is I will not be doing this like on top of the ender chest, because especially the ender chest is a terrible amount of storage, right? Like, it's not even a normal chest. So I don't want to. I want to have a buffer. That is something I always like having in any capacity, is a buffer, especially with automation, because then if something does back up, or if something does, get full on this side, at least you'll have some amount of storage to prevent everything from going haywire. So that is one thing. And we're actually going to grab 4 iron chests here, just because we can. I know I did a chest last time, but these, will produce quite a bit of resources, so we're gonna try to stay away from that. And actually, what we're gonna do is this. And I know this is gonna be overkill, but that's fine. And then we can do this and this, here and here. And I will not be placing the block breakers yet. I'm actually going to hold off on that for a second here. And actually, I just realized that this may not be exactly what we want, because I don't think I can mine these 2 blocks. We may need to change up the plan just a little bit more. So let's go up here real quick. Okay, and then let's just get these blocks. Right? Okay, and we'll just fill them in with stone. Just because I can't place. I could technically have... Hold on. So, like, for this one, I could have it like that. Oh, let's see. So where's my lava? Okay. I could have a block there and a block there. And then here, I could have a block here and a block there. Okay. And then that would work. But since I have this corner, I can't really do that due to the fact that it, like, this is the only block available, right? So I wouldn't be able to do a corner block like so. So that makes sense. Just kind of figuring out some problems with it right away. I mean, that's fine. That's kind of the good thing about automation, is finding the problems before they pop up in the middle of something. And this would just be one of them. So, okay. And then let's get to working on filtering. So, the commenter who also talked about item collectors and a whole bunch, they basically left like a book. And they're like, oh, I don't mean to buy backseat game. The thing is, with this series, I love suggestions. I love hearing suggestions. I love people asking questions of why I'm doing certain things certain ways. A whole bunch of things like that. So nobody has to really worry about backseat gaming on my channel. If it's just like, you should do this right now and blah, 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 that's kind of annoying. I probably won't listen to you too much, but this person did give quite a good, few ideas, and I'm not going to lie. They are decent ideas, and I'm going to implement most of them. They were talking about storage drawers, and drawer controllers. I do know that drawer controllers are in here. The biggest thing is right now is I will probably get that whenever I have all of this said and done. Because right now, I think the one thing that's going to hold us up is this actual ore. And the reason I say that is because I can't just throw that into the foundry or the smeltery willy-nilly, because it will make alloys and stuff, right? So there's an issue. I could just throw it in here, you know, but then of course we are losing efficiency and yada yada. So there's quite a few caveats to the way to do this, and of course you could do like the whole create bulk smelting thing. Then again, you aren't really getting all your efficiency. Um, so there's quite a few things that need to be figured out beforehand before we even work on, item filtering and things. So that is a thing. And yes, I'm quickly just clearing out that chest. Um, so that's the thing, right? And I don't really know how to solve some of these issues because, like, I know we have the crusher. Like, I know we have the actual crusher from, not mine colonies, immersive engineering. It's not a block. I know, it's a multi-block, but I don't have the actual manual either. So immersive. I think there's like a manual. Yeah, engineer's manual. We could quickly grab one of these. If we really wanted to, which I guess I can. And then we can just grab a piece of leather. Okay, and then we just need a stick and a piece of cobblestone, which I think is in my dank 3. Okay. And then engineer's manual. Okay, so the biggest thing is, like, I'm pretty sure we can look at this. So this is actually like one of the best machines for crushing ores and things like that inside of this whole mod pack. Because I don't think create really adds ore doubling. This adds ore doubling. And totally it would be something we need power, we need a whole system like that, of course, which I mean that's gonna be built up to, right? So if we look at tech, not that kind of tech factory, you can see that there is a whole lot of stuff in here, and this actually leads to like the end portal frames. But like, here's the biggest thing, and that's immersive engineering, right? So the coke brick oven basically allows for you to get coal coke, and coal coke will also allow for you, or this coke brick oven will actually also allow for you to get I don't remember the fluid. It's right here. Creosote oil. And this is actually something that is obtained by this, right? So you can get, you basically get coal coke and you get creosote. And those are kind of the basics of immersive engineering. Because, yeah, you do get saplings from the actual dropping of a seed in a pool of creosote oil. I don't know why I'm butchering that. I can usually say it properly, but that's the biggest thing, right? So, I mean, we could work on that, but then again, I don't really want to get into one whole mod just for some small portion of automation. So let's see. What else do we have here? So basic automation, it does talk about, the drawer controller. This actually gives you an item collector, which is pretty cool. But we're not going to do that right now. What other ways can we, like, smelt ore, right? So if I look at gold, but yeah, that requires the end. You can do ore doubling through this stuff, which is actually interesting. I wouldn't lie. But it is, like, a weird thing to get into. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, because see, you only get a chance of getting 2. And then there's like the bulk blasting, there's the milling, the arc furnace, which is actually one of the more expensive immersive engineering multi-blocks, but this actually guarantees you 2 ingots per operation. This gives you 2 gold grit per. Melting, of course, would give you 2, but then again, as I said earlier, we'd run into the issue of creating alloys accidentally. we could actually look at the foundry if in this case, because that's kind of where we're at. Um, which is like scorched brick, which is nether grout, which is magma cream, and soul sand and gravel, or soul soil. So I mean, we could look at that. We could definitely look at a foundry. I mean, we could replace this entire thing with a foundry, and I'd be fine with that. Like, I don't really use this for alloys, unless we're talking about maybe manual in the future. But for now, I think let's hop on that. So what do we need, right? So, of course, this also doesn't fully give you a, um, 2 ingots, and that's another thing. But it would still give us something, right? It also would give us, different ores, which I mean, I don't really care. Based on the controller type. What does that mean? Is there another controller? Or... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what that means. But we could definitely look at this. So let me be right back and look at how much we actually would need to just make like a basic smeltery. Alright, so first off, we're going to do a few things here. We need to kind of take care of several things. So one of those things is this. We're going to take a stack of lapis and drop it into a water pool. And this will give you prismarine crystals. Okay, that's our first bit of business. Next, we're going to take a blaze spawner. We don't want that one. Okay, so this one will work. Spawn range of 10. We could probably take that down a few notches anyway. Right? And then we need to make a comparator. Actually, I think I might have enough stuff in here to make a comparator. Yeah. Okay, and then one of these. And then some stone, which I have some on me. Okay. Let's make a comparator real quick. So what you can do with the comparator is you can throw this down. But real quick, before we throw it down, I want to quickly note that it doesn't say that it is redstone activated, but if you look at this one, it says it requires redstone. So, at the very bottom. Alright, you just right-click that, and you can see that the flame stopped going. And that means that we are able to activate this with redstone. So what we also want to do is take these molten cores and turn them into blaze rods. So we can actually take this down a few notches, and I don't fully remember what we need to take this down to. So we have a spawn range of 10. Let's bring it down to a 5. Okay, so if you don't remember, we need nether quartz and the offhand and the blaze spawner on the ground, and then right click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then actually real quick as well, let's get rid of the quartz so we can throw some sugar on this. Okay, now we can actually throw prismarine crystals on this as well. So the prismarine crystals will make it to where it spawns further away when the player's further away. So you can see the player range is 50. So if we're 50 blocks away from this and this is activated, it'll still spawn things, right? Of course, if we have a nether star, we are actually able to make this an unlimited range, right? Ignores nearby players, which would actually be pretty cool. But we don't have that. So our best bet is to just do prismarine crystals, okay? So you're probably wondering why I want a blaze spawner with, a few things on it, right? And the biggest answer I can give you is we're about to make some molten blaze, or blazing blood, actually is what it's called, I do believe. Yes, blazing blood here from Tinker's Construct. And the reason we want to make this is actually quite simple. We want this because lava is less efficient than the blazing blood and the foundry, right? So if we do look at blazing blood here, you can see that its uses. Where is it at? Yeah, right. No. It's not going to show me the uses for it this way. So if I look up, say, iron ore, okay, iron ore, and you can see here in the smeltery, melting ore foundry, you can hover over this. You can see there's a 1.5 times multiplier, which isn't that much. But at the same time, if we have blazing blood, you can see that temperature difference, right? With 1000 degrees Celsius and then 1500 degrees Celsius. The 1500 degrees Celsius will actually let us do diamonds and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? So if we look at diamond ore, right, and we then look at its uses, you can see that here we'll be able to get 1 and then 6 nuggets, right? And we'll get a little bit of quartz, which I'm not really caring too much about that, but you do need 1450 Celsius, okay? Of course, if we did this in a foundry, this would probably be a better option. So there are some things that I'm not 100% sure on, right? Because I don't really want to make a whole bunch of like nuggets and kind of things like that. So I'm not 100% sure if a foundry is the best option for select things. Like I don't care too much about like iron and things because we'll get enough, right? But things like diamonds, it's kind of like, well, I don't really want to have 6 nuggets just sitting around. But I think we'll go with the foundry for now. And if we think of a better option, or we get to the better option, such as like the crusher or the arc furnace, we'll definitely, start changing out this whole system sooner or later. So that's a pretty good idea and thing to keep in mind, right? So right now we're just going to build the actual smeltery, which is where the blazes are going to be spawned. And the way this will work is they will spawn, they will then fall down into the smeltery with lava inside of it, and it'll make blazing blood. Then you can export that blazing blood outside of the actual smeltery and be able to then import that into the foundry or whatever you want to use it in, right? So there's quite a few things that it can be useful for, but, I think there is like that other thing that I saw, which I don't actually know what it was. Block heat properties. So it looks like there is like this whole thing, which I don't really know what it is. But this is from Pneumatic Craft. So that is something that's also to keep in mind. It looks like a very high temperature thing. So let's keep that in mind. Anyway, let's keep building up on this foundry, or the smeltery. I always get those confused, but it is the smeltery, not the foundry. Okay, and then let's just do we're going to try to build this to the ceiling, so let me do that, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so real quick, we're going to set up a little thing from Create. So these are redstone links, and basically what we can do is I'm going to actually use melon seeds. You can actually use any item, 2 items in here to set a frequency. So I'm going to put a melon seed, and then I'm going to come in here, place this down, shift right click on this to make it receiving, and I'm going to put a melon seed at the top. And what this should do, right, is if I get a lever, which I think I have some sticks sitting around somewhere here, right here, and then I just make a lever. This would allow for me to turn on and off the blaze spawner at will, right? So I just spawned this guy in, which isn't too big of a deal. Just come in here and deal with him real quick. So this would allow for us to basically create a redstone signal wirelessly. And that's basically what we want to do to turn this on and off if need be, right? So now, actually, I don't know if this will fully function. Honestly, I think this may be too tall because it's like got the blaze spawner and stuff in it. So maybe it wouldn't be the worst idea to do maybe in the roof. Let's try that. So let's go take that out. 1, 2, 3, 4 should be enough. And we can put the wireless redstone link here. I'm Remember, shift right click, and then melon seeds and the top, which you can just build over here. Okay, the top right there. And that should be good. Is that in the redstone? I can't actually see, it's dark. Actually, I think it's, yeah, okay. Just that block. It, like, extrudes into the next block, so it's kind of hard to see that. Let's actually grab a piece of stone here. Right here. Okay. And that should be good. I hope that will work. Okay. And then we should be able to, like, say, turn this on. Okay, that is working. Alright, so now what we need to do is come over here, grab 4 pieces of copper, and let's actually pause this for a second here. Okay, throw those 4 pieces of copper in there, and then what we can do is throw in the seared bricks. Okay, and we'll actually do 2 things here, might as well. So first off, the copper. Is that not how we do it? No, it's the... That's the wrong thing. Hold on. It's the actual seared melter, right? I don't think I have one of those. Oh, I do. Okay. So the seared melter. My bad. And the recipe for this is that. The, like, gauge and then a few bricks and you're good. Throw that in here with 4 copper. Threw the wrong thing in there again. No? What is it then? Hold on. I know there's... What am I doing? Hold on. Seared heater. Is that it? Okay. Yeah, it's the seared heater. It's one of these blocks. I don't know. Okay, it's fine. Anyway, so seared heater will give us a seared smeltery controller. Alrighty, so also real quick before we move on to putting the smeltery controller down here, we can actually take this seared scorched brick, and the recipe for this is actually just 4 scorched bricks, of course, and you can put this in here, and then take a block of obsidian, melt it in here, which is I've already done, and then just right-click this, and this will get you the Foundry controller. So this is kind of like the very first part of the Foundry, and that is awesome, which is what we need. All right, and then we need... I'm going to put that there, and then we actually need a tank. Okay, so a tank... Throw the other one back in here. And this should complete the smeltery. Okay. And this should hold quite a few ingots because it should be all the way up there. So now, how are we going to do lava? That is the biggest question here. And I think the best bet, in all honesty, is to just get Blood Magic's ritual set up. Which is something we're probably going to do in the next episode. So, what we need to do, and we're going to kind of just like summarize this in this episode, right? So we need to make a foundry, which will allow for us to smelt ores, not too efficiently. Honestly, I kind of want to make a smeltery for almost every ore. I think that would probably be better, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. Because it seems like the foundry will not give us, 2 times the ore. So we're kind of just losing a lot of stuff. And I mean, if we do have tons of ore production, like, I'm not worried. But like in here, for example, right? We don't really have a whole lot of space to work with. And I mean, we could add, another, like a layer here, and then another set of stone generators, and then keep going. So we could do that. But I don't think we really have a better, like, block breaker in this pack. Which is kind of bad. Because this one isn't the most efficient, but at the same time we can power it, so maybe that'll be better. So there's a few things we need to kind of look at. But this whole thing should be set up just waiting for the actual block breakers to be placed and all that stuff. So Foundry, setting up the rest of the compacting machine, stone generator, setting up a well of suffering inside of here to allow for us to get LP and continuously pull lava from another ritual, which I have ignored for quite a while, which I believe is the Serenade of the Nether. We do need to get onto that one. So there's quite a few things to look at, and I'm kind of thinking this is going to be kind of like part 2, part 1 kind of situation, where the last episode is kind of part 1, this is kind of part 2, and then episode will be 3, and so on and so forth. I don't know how long this is going to take us, but I'm kind of also winging this. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. This is all coming out of, just the blue. So, yeah, keep that in mind. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.